Thank you so much for purchasing my DIBELS data sheet. I'm so glad that you did, and I hope that this is a really helpful resource for you and your team. I'm the Nile teacher, and I'm an international educator. I currently work as a literacy coordinator in South America, and I started my career as an international teacher in Egypt, but I also worked in the United States teaching elementary and middle school. Thank you for joining me. I want to tell you a little bit about how to use your purchase DIBELS data sheet. And the first thing that I want to share with you, anytime that you're having a hard time, maybe confused, go to the directions tab at the bottom. And I think there's pretty clear directions here for how to use this. I'm going to quickly take you through each tab on this sheet and show you how to use it. The place that you're always going to want to start is at the data entry tab. I've already entered some data here from fake students, and I'm going to show you how to do the same. You're going to see that you have rows up through Y that you're going to be using. Row A is just a numbered list. I have it this way mostly because it's easy to reorganize if you've filtered view. You want to keep this the way it is just so that you can go back to the original placement of all of your names. When you come in, maybe it's just one class, but if you have multiple classes in your grade level and you're using this as a team lead, literacy coordinator, assessment coordinator, to look at data across many different classes, you're going to want to put your class name in this area. I have KGA, but maybe it's Miss Sutton that you have here in your class as your teacher, however you want to organize that. For the last name of the student, you can copy and paste from your own roster, and same for the first name. Or you can enter them in manually. You're going to notice that when you enter in a name manually, for example, if I put in Smith, I had a Nancy here. Let's say I put in another Smith. It's going to say value they can't find. That's okay. Enter in your name and it'll all work out. Once you're ready to, you can enter in your beginning of the year data like so, and it will auto-populate, calculate, and color code based on the DIBELS 8 benchmarking scores. As you can see, Nancy at the beginning of the year had 259, which is in red. In the middle of the year, she was at 368. You could round that up to 369, which is in yellow, and green at the end of the year. I've got some students from other classes here that have some data as well. So let's move on to our other sheets really quickly. You'll notice that if you go to the beginning of the year sheet, the only data that you're seeing is for the beginning of the year. Again, this is in the same order as what we see in the data entry sheet. You're going to notice you have space for up to 200 students here, which is perfect if you're working at a very large school. For the middle of the year, the only person that had data was Nancy, and so you're going to see her data here. But you can also tell that there's been changes made. So Mark is here. We're just waiting for his data. And the same goes for the end of the year. You'll also notice with each of these sheets, I have a small benchmarking guide here on the side so that you can look and see how close your student is to the next band for benchmark scores. The last tab is for charts. And as you make changes, these pie charts will update, showing your percentages for each band. So I've got that for composite scores, letter naming fluency, phonemic segmentation fluency, etc. And because Nancy's the only one with many scores, you'll see big colors here. If you delete the scores, obviously you won't see a pie chart. So when you start using this, your pie charts will populate for the beginning of the year, and it'll look like you don't have any pie charts for the middle or end of year, but don't worry, as you enter that data, these will fill in as well. Maybe you don't want to look at your data as a pie chart. Don't worry, all of the formulas are over here, and you can highlight those, go to insert chart, and change from a pie chart to maybe a bar graph. It doesn't change this one. That one's still there, but this is here for you to take a look at. So you can use any of those, but I would not change them. If you change any of the formulas here or move these, it will affect these as well. So leave them where they are. And of course, if you want to see how they work, you can look here and change those if you know a little bit about Google Sheets. But if I were you, don't move these, don't touch them, leave them be. This tab here has our benchmark goals for the entire year. And then these are the student data cards. Now you have spaces for 200 students in your data entry, beginning, middle, and end of year sheets. For this, there's only space for 100. If you actually do have 200 students, you'll still be able to use these. You'll just have to take out some of the data that you've put in before and rearrange your data entry sheet. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. As you can see, Nancy Smith is here. She's in class KGA. And because we do have varying testing schedules, you might test Nancy on August 10th, but John on August 12th. So you can fill these out yourself as you test, or at the end of the year, maybe when you print this out for a parent. All of your scores are going to auto-populate here, and they're going to be color coordinating just the way they are in all of your other sheets. And then you can also add notes down here. You can see that all of those scores auto-populate as they go. And you can print this. Maybe go to landscape. You can fit to page breaks or go to normal, right? But I like to, go to custom page breaks and either do 1 per page or 2 per page and cut them. All right. Let's say you have more than 100 students and you need to print cards for them. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to your data entry sheet and make sure that this is in 1 through 10 order. So 200's at the bottom, 1 is at the top. Also, if you go to the bottom, you'll see that there are averages here in case you need them. So you've done that. You're going to go to your student data cards, fill in your dates of assessment and any notes that you might want to add, or maybe just print it out and write those in. You've printed them, you're ready for your second set. You're going to go here to the filter and you're going to sort Z to A. Ignore the heads up. 200 is going to be at the top. And so when you go to your student data cards, first name is 200, student 200. All of this will be filled out for the second half of your 200 students. And you can reprint and fill those out very easily. When you're ready to go back, you can go sort to A to Z. And you'll notice in the beginning of the year, middle of year, and end of year sheets, all of these have been changed to match the data entry sheet as well. There we go. So I hope you enjoy using this sheet. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or need help. I think this is pretty easy to use. Just focus on entering data in this data entry sheet and go from there. Again, thank you for purchasing. And if you want to check out any of my other products, please do so. Thank you.